Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Sean Ferrell podcast. I am Sean Ferrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. And let's not waste no time. Let's get right to it. So, mental health, stigma. There's still a stigma around mental illness, depression, anxiety, suicide, and stigma really holds a lot of people back as far as getting help, reaching out. Excuse me. And when I was younger, and going through depression, anxiety, thoughts of suicide, I had never heard the word stigma before. Never heard the word before. And it wasn't until later on that I actually found out about what stigma was. Again, I chose to get help. I chose to get help on my own. Because I really believed for a time when I was younger that I could conquer it by myself. I could conquer depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts by myself. And needless to say, that was not the case. The harder that I tried to conquer it myself, the worse it got. And my support system is a lot better than when I was younger. I had no support system when I was younger. So, needless to say, my support system is more stronger today. But just gonna read to you some things and some facts about mental health, the stigma around mental health. Treating mental health issues as if they are just something people can overcome by trying harder or thinking happy thoughts. Like I just said, the harder that I try to beat it, the worse it got for me. Branding people with mental illness as lazy or weak-willed. Telling men with a mental illness to man up. I haven't been told to man up. I've never been told to man up. But again, for the men or women who are watching this, men or women who are watching this, you've been told to woman up or man up, which can only push you down a further dark path and further isolate you. Because now, you're probably thinking, if you tell this person you're going through something, if you're a woman, you tell this person that you're going through something, and they tell you to, hey man up. Hey, woman up. Be strong. No. Pushing you down a further isolation, dark path. speaking of people with mental health issues in a condescending manner, disrespect for the severity of depression and other mental health conditions. Um, Severity of depression. Um, as a person who has thought about suicide, as a person who has attempted suicide, um, depression has effects on everything. Everything. Um, and again, putting on showering can be difficult. Um, I know for me personally, just speaking for myself, sometimes I find it just so hard to even put away groceries. Just to even put away groceries. Which I feel sometimes takes a lot of effort just to put away groceries or just going to get your groceries. And this is, and I do all my grocery shopping online and go to the store and pick up. So I don't even go inside. But yeah, putting on simple things such as putting on deodorant after you shower, putting on lotion after you shower. I still have nights where I don't have the energy to even brush my teeth. I just have enough energy to have a shower, which is going to take all of my energy. Also, she's not playing with a full deck of cards. You know, he's lost his marbles. Using mental health disorders as adjectives. You look anorexic. You're a psycho. Sensationalizing situations through unwarranted references to mental illness. Using terminology that suggests a lack of quality of life for people with a mental illness. Trivializing the pain of people with mental illness. Also saying things like, you're faking it. This wouldn't be happening if you were stronger. What is there to be sad about? So many people have it way worse than you. It's all in your head. Maybe if you spent time helping other people, you see what real problems are. I just want to speak on that for a second. Maybe if you spent time helping other people, you see what real problems are. I volunteer on the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, okay? AKA the Memphis Crisis Center, okay? So, I hear what real problems are, okay? So, let me just read this again. Maybe if you spent time helping other people, you see what real problems are. Well, I volunteer on a crisis line. No, I hear what real problems are. And the people who call the 9888 line are the same problems, have usually the same problems that people with mental illness have. Why can't you just get hit better? Such and such was crazy for a while too, and now he's better. Um, I mentioned at the beginning that I didn't know what I had never heard the word stigma before when I was younger. I never heard the word stigma. So, but there was a sense. But this is before I knew what stigma was. When I first started seeing a counselor, um, when I first started seeing a counselor, um, I actually had to keep it secret. Actually, nobody in my family knew because I thought if they found out that I was seeing a counselor, they would just dig more into my business. And all these things I just read, they probably would have been asking me. Some of these things that I just read off about mental health stigma. And so, again, this is before I knew what stigma was, but when I first started seeing a counselor, I kept it hidden from my family. And yeah, so all these things I just read off about stigma, they probably would have had these same responses or questions. So yeah. So yeah. Comment in the comment section. What is the thing? What has been your experience with stigma? Okay. Comment in the comment section. What has been your experience with stigma? With mental health stigma. So I was looking at states with what is the number one state in the country with the highest rate of suicide. And you would never think this, but Las Vegas has a high suicide rate, which is twice of that as the national average. Okay. And Montana has ranked in the top 5 for suicide rates in the past 30 years. Okay. And the reasons for that, there's a lack of vitamin D. The altitude. The altitude is, I forget. I think the altitude is higher. I think the altitude is higher in towards the west, towards the middle part of the country. I know Denver has high altitude. So yeah. Montana, high altitude. Social economic. Montana also has a lot of veterans, American Indians, and middle-aged white men, which are the highest risk of suicide groups. Social isolation. there are only 6.7 people per square mile. The national average is 88.7 people per square mile. And they describe Montana as a large state with a small population. Okay? A lack of behavioral health resources also contributes. Alcohol as a coping strategy. Access to lethal means. 65% of suicides are by firearms. Okay? But in Montana, 65%, I guess, would be the percentile for the national average. Okay? But 90% of all firearm deaths in Montana are suicides. 90% of all firearm deaths in Montana are by suicide. And what I just talked about, stigma. And 37% of students at Montana State University said they seriously considered suicide during the 2021-2022 school year. Okay. So, this is why we can't be silent about talking about suicide. That's why we can't be silent about stigma. I can't, we have to have conversations. Still it's every topic, but no. I talk about it all the time. I think this just needs to be talked about more. Just needs to be talked about more. Yeah, I think if we just talk about it more, then, we would start seeing a change. But let's talk about it more. What else was I about to say? Okay. So, big sports fan. Die-hard Dallas Cowboys fan. Chicago Bulls fan. And I was thinking about this the other day. What do the Chicago Bulls pre-Michael Jordan and depression have in common? Okay? And I would say that before Michael Jordan got to Chicago, I think they were called the Traveling Cocaine Circus, because if you watch the Jordan documentary, I've watched it a few times, and I believe the Bulls were called the Traveling Cocaine Circus before Michael Jordan got out there. But people were also calling them the Chicago Cows instead of the Chicago Bulls. Believe it or not. um, but by the way, you may be saying something like, "How can I be a Wolves fan when he has on the Indiana Pacers shirt?" Um, Let me just tell you something. I am an old school guy. I love old school stuff. So, um, the Bulls of the 90s, I was fans of, okay? And the Bulls probably through around 2013, 2014, I was a fan of. Um, so I do not follow the NBA. I do not follow the NBA as closely as I did in the 90s and the early 2000s. Um, so, I love old school stuff. Love old school logos. Anyway, so when Michael Jordan got there, Traveling Cocaine Circus, the Chicago Cows, Jordan got there. There was hope. Then improvement, then eventually a championship. Sort of like the Dallas Cowboys when Jimmy Johnson got out there. Jimmy was 1-15 in his first year, improved to 7-9. Then they went 11-5, made the playoffs, won a playoff game. Then, of course, Super Bowls. So, how can you relate that to mental illness? Well, when you're in recovery from a mental illness, when you're in recovery from depression, sort of like that. When I was younger, I would say I was 1-15. And then started showing some signs of improvement. Okay? Started showing some signs of improvement. And then started showing further signs of improvement. And then eventually you get hit there to where you have recovered. And I was watching a Dallas Cowboys documentary the other day, which was called 1991, or 1990 WON. The season that launched the dynasty. Nate Newton talked about it. He said, we knew we were getting better, but mentally, we were still on a roller coaster. So, mentally, I do have roller coaster days. Yes. I'm pretty sure you all, the audience, you all have roller coaster days as well. But just keep sticking with it. And they say hope is one of the most powerful things you can have against depression and suicide, anxiety. That's true. So, Um, so no matter what, you matter. You are loved. You are important. And let me just hold up this for Hawk again. 988 Hope. Okay? 988 Hope. You loved. You do matter to a lot of people. Okay? Okay? All right. That's it, and that's all. 988 Hope. This has been the Sean Ferrell podcast. I am out of here. Peace out, and God bless. Yeah.